Jalen Rose right here at the Seaport. Irving Magic Johnson paid us all a visit, and he made an appearance on First Take. And he had some very interesting comments about why he resigned from his position with the Lakers. Let's listen to Magic Johnson.
Did it come down? I understand the Luke Walton element.
Yeah.
But when you allude to the backstabbing, was it Rob Pelinka that you're talking about? Is it Rob Pelinka and other people within the Lakers organization? Who exactly were you talking
No,
about?
just Rob. I was going to help elevate him to the president's position. And so when all this was coming back to me and guys calling me saying, you better watch out for him. And then what was crazy was when I took the job, you know how many agents called me and said, you got to watch out for him. And I said, I got to give the guy a fair chance. I can't listen to people. And so, but he was a hard worker, smart guy. But now you have that position. So I'm good with that.
Jalen Rose. Rob Pelinka's name came out of Magic Johnson's mouth a few times during that interview. Something tells me that he's not too happy with his working relationship with Rob Pelinka. What did you think of Magic Johnson's comments?
Well, what Magic had to say was not necessarily a reflection of Rob. It's more an indictment, actually, of Jeanie Buss, because she was the one that decided that they should work together. And if you go deeper into the interview, he talked about the fact that he wanted them to fire Luke Walton, which they ultimately ended up doing. He talked about a gentleman named Tim Harris, who works in business affairs, meddling in basketball decisions, and he felt like that bled into him ultimately being the final decision maker. As it relates to him trusting Rob, he then in the next breath said he's a hard worker, he's a smart guy, and he feels like that the Lakers are in a good position moving forward. So I see the fact that my childhood idol does not see eye to eye with my former college teammate. However, Magic Johnson, if you look in the dictionary of how to manipulate the media, a picture of him is going to be right there. I promise you, it's going to be right there. He understands that the public, based on his 40 years of earning equity as a player and all of the other things that he's done, is going to take his side versus somebody that they just see as a former agent that's now running the Los Angeles Lakers along with Jeanie Buss. But the one thing that can't get overlooked is when you discuss the backstabbing, you have to go further into what did he say was actually being said about him. And one of the things that he said was people criticized the fact that he wasn't present, that he wasn't in the office, that he didn't seem to be making the sacrifices needed to be really good at that job. And you can't now say, well, I did give up date night with the wife on Friday, I did give up movie date on Sunday in order to do this job. That's actually an anticipation based on the fact if you want to compete and bring a championship to Los Angeles, these are the things that come with the territory.
So, Jalen, you mentioned that manipulating media, and I'm going to say, because I love Magic Johnson, I'm going to say that he massages media and he massages the narrative. If you are a Laker fan, like right now, if you're a Laker fan, Magic Johnson is no longer officially associated with the franchise. He'll always be forever associated with the franchise because of what he's done there. How do you feel right now about who's running your team after this interview?
Well, a couple of things happened during the interview. He talked about trading D'Angelo Russell based on the circumstance that he had with Nick Young. That guy went on to be an all-star, and that's probably not a reason to trade a young player. Julius Randle was really good for the Pelicans this year. They allowed him to walk for nothing so they could open up a second max spot. The only thing that the Los Angeles Lakers have to focus on is can they bring an all-NBA prospect to come play alongside LeBron James. If they're able to do that, they can be a contender. If they're not able to do that, I see them as a playoff team, but not a championship team. There's no accident that Magic made this Lakers day, where the Western Conference playoffs have a game tonight. The East had one last night. It's not an accident that he was on First Take today the same day that they're going to introduce Frank Vogel. So now when people talk about introductions to their new head coach and how it's going to affect the dynamics of their roster, they now can ask Rob and pepper him with questions about Magic. That was brilliant, the way he massaged the media today, as you would say.
Jalen, I didn't think about that element. I forgot that they were introducing Frank Vogel today. Like, of all the days that he's going to go on and make the news story all about him, he does it in the morning. Irving Magic Johnson's good at this. He's good at this. They should rehire him just based on this move alone.
He was like, oh, I told Jeanie that being the president of the Lakers ain't going to pay me as much as my businesses. Wait, so the $1 billion you get as a businessman is not going to equate to the couple of $100,000 or $1 million that they give you as president. Got it. Gotcha.